Good evening, Mohini Kelkar, and welcome to IPF's exclusive video interview webinar. To start, begin with, can you just take us to the journey of Grindmaster Machines and how it has become a leader, rather a global leader in surface finishing?
Good afternoon, everybody. Grindmaster started in 1984, and the journey of 35 years has been really very exciting. This company was started by me and my husband in 1984 in a garage, and now we are across the globe with subsidiaries in France, China, and USA. Through this journey, what we have done is we have developed various kinds of metal finishing and deburring machines which were not made in India before. So they were import substitute to start with, and then we started selling it outside India, and it received a great response because of the innovative technologies that we offered, particularly in micro finishing and also in robotics. We offered the technologies which were globally competitive and also globally new technologies. So we typically sold our products on the basis of innovation and technology, and not really on the basis of pricing. We always wanted to sell the best technology at a good price, and that is, I think, the reason why we could reach out to the globe. And I'm happy to say that in capital goods, Germany and Japan are considered to be the best countries, and German company does not need a separate introduction, or a Japanese machine company, whereas Grindmaster is proud to have sold machines to Japanese and Germans. So we are very proud that our technology is very well accepted in both these countries.
Okay. So how is your company incorporating automation and IoT, solutions into your machines?
Yes, the automation is a key thing, not now, but it has become more relevant also post-COVID, but it has gained an importance because the supply chains became very complex, and the reliability at every stage was very important. Reliability also means that there has to be a traceability, and the traceability of any fault or part comes only through IoT. So we started using IoT long time back when we started exporting to China to auto OEMs in a big way. We put the features in the machine in such a way that any fault finding can be done through cloud sitting here in Aurangabad. I don't have to send my engineer or expert all the way to China to find out if there is something wrong has happened on the machine. Secondly, we can track the tool life, tool wear, tool over. So this is called as tool management system. So we implemented tool management systems on our machine, which help not only the customer but also us to monitor the tool life and whether the tool change at the right time has happened or not. Such alerts are given by us to the customer, and this is appreciated. So the actual production control and management control of the machines is very vital. Any production depends on the machines, and the machines need to have these features of IoT to be able to give the data, analyze the data, and derive the action out of it. So it is not only the data, the analysis and actions are important. And what Grindmaster has done has created integrated system which gives the data analysis and actions from it, because the actions are the ones who matter finally. So we have the smart controller which was developed by Grindmaster. We call it a smart controller, which is very user friendly. It gives the exact tool management system and exactly what is needed by the customer. And this is how IoT we have adopted, and it is growing worldwide.
Auto and auto component industry is, I believe, one of the major customers for your machine tool industry. And
Yeah.
auto and auto component industry has been going through a very bad patch over the last year and now. So, what are your mitigation plans? Are you targeting non-auto sectors also?
Yeah. Yes. So, first of all, in our de-risking, we have been working in multiple countries. So, in one way, the automotive, though it is globally down, the production is still happening. The new models are coming up. And so, we still have the demand outside India, which we are trying to capitalize. So, exports has been one of our key strengths, de-risking the markets across the globe. So we are in Mexico, we are in US, we are in Japan, and every country gives you some opportunities or the other. Number one. Number two, I do believe that Indian automotive will have a suddenly big demand once they start up, and say after 4 or 5 months, when the jobs are coming out of China, India has the largest opportunity to start manufacturing those components. So in first place, I think automotive component industry still has a good potential within India. And yes, the machine tool sector is heavily dependent on the automotive sector. From Grindmaster, we have diversified into various other sectors. For example, we are in a big way in home appliances. You know, the polishing is required in home appliances, and in fact, that
Mhm.
is started our business. And we
Okay.
came into the automotive, but our original starting point was polishing of cookware and tubes and bars, so steel. So we are in the steel industry, we are in the appliances industry, and we are also now getting into the aerospace industry by offering the specialized deburring solutions, which are very vital in particularly in the aerospace industry. So this is how we are trying to mitigate the risk involved in today's scenario.
Just now you spoke about your new plans for aerospace industry, and your government is trying to encourage domestic manufacturing of defense equipment and aerospace equipment. So how do you see this as an opportunity for a grindmaster machine?
Mm, yes. So, frankly speaking, the government declared various plans. On the ground, they are not happening. And hope that they take the corrective actions, because down the line in the execution, the thoughts that government has of sourcing these things from India, there are various hurdles and bottlenecks down the line. So I know that many of our customers have the setups ready to produce the parts, but they are not getting the orders for those parts. From Grindmaster, we are ready to cater to the manufacturing of those parts, because we are basically machine manufacturers and automation suppliers. So once these parts are decentralized and they are made in a big number, then the business will come to the machine tool industry. As of now, the working with the public sectors and working with the defense organizations, although it has improved, I must say this again, that it has improved over say 5 years back, or five to 10 years back. The way of their working was some, and now it is improved. But lot needs to be done really to get the effect in terms of the manufacturing, in terms of the job creation, and also in terms of the opportunities for the machine tool sector. So the ideas are great, but the execution really needs to be very much strengthened by the government. As far as aerospace sector is concerned, in aerospace sector there are multiple foreign players coming to India, and they want to increase their manufacturing. So it is slowly growing, but again now the corona situation has definitely created a hurdle for them, as the air travel will be minimum in the next 2 years. People will just avoid the air travel, and this has definitely created a kind of speed breaker for the aerospace industry, which was actually doing very well, and we were expecting it to grow to a great extent, but now it's a question mark.
According to you, a person who has traveled across the world, what are the strengths and the weaknesses of Indian entrepreneurs?
Yeah. So I feel that Indian entrepreneurs are very resilient. So they work best in crisis situations. So if there is any crisis, then they are heroes, because I think hero worshipping has been our tradition. So as far as resilience and crisis management is concerned, and individually handling it at individual level, I think Indian entrepreneurs are good. Another thing is that we are much more flexible. I would cite an example that we got a couple of orders from Japan and US only because we were flexible to consider the customer's demands, and not saying that this is our machine and you buy it. So a customer demanded a certain setup change time, and we agreed to it, and we developed and innovated that solution. So this is also a kind of agility which Indian entrepreneurship shows, and this is how this is what can be capitalized. And when you talk about the weakness, I think we don't think big, and this is one of our weaknesses. When it comes to setting up large size production units, we always think twice whether to make such investments. Where is the market? Whether first market should come, or first I will make the investment. So it is a chicken and egg kind of a situation for the Indian entrepreneurs, and I think that this is a weakness of the Indian companies or entrepreneurs.
So you already touched upon that you are exporting to the developed countries like Japan, Europe, US. So what kind of opportunities you are now looking at from the exports market?
From exports market, this COVID situation has put tremendous cost pressures on all the companies across the globe. And I feel that the company like us, who can give, who is more flexible to offer the solution, and who can provide a cost effective, at the same time good technology solution, will still have the demand. The auto OEMs and auto global sourcing tier one companies, for example, the ZF group, the Magna group, they are trying to source the components as well as the technology, which is at a reasonable cost, and they are not looking at something for a very long term, but the cost has become very important. And I think this is where our export can play a role, and we will still have a good potential, and we can tap the potential. Second thing is Japan government and US government already declared that their companies in China will move out. So when these companies move out to, say, Vietnam, say Southeast Asia, or India, that will be another opportunity created for us. So there will be the new models coming up. There will be upgradation of the models which will come up, and the US companies will mostly go to Mexico, Brazil. So there will be the new companies coming in. They would probably suggest the new range of setup of equipments to produce the parts, the automotive parts or other kinds of parts, and more flexible manufacturing solutions will be required. Grindmaster is very agile. in developing such solutions. In fact, we are already responding to similar demands from our customers from Japan, and we are able to come out with a proposition which fits the technology level they want, the flexibility they want, and the price levels. So we are able to work with the target pricing, the concepts, and working closely with the customer, we are able to come out with the right solutions, and that is where the export potential lies for us, in my opinion.
Now the government has allowed to restart some factories in some of the regions. So, what kind of challenges do you foresee when you start your factories again?
Yeah. See, the main challenges are, the supply chain and the contract. These are the two challenges for the entire industry. So, even if you start, unless the transport works in a full way, the goods cannot go out. Unless the retail chain starts operating, the goods cannot be sold. So even if the factories start making it, where will they sell? So the challenge is partial opening is really not going to help. In fact, what happens is when you open partially, you start incurring the cost. And with that cost, again, your feasibility becomes a challenge. So, in my opinion, the opening up should be in toto. Each and every company, you take any automotive company, they are deep roots in various logistics, in various tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and down the line companies on the one side for manufacturing, and on the other side the distribution of the goods, so distributors, retailers, and then finally going to the customer. And then the challenge is, if there is a lockdown, who will go and buy? It is okay to buy food stuff and other things, but if you want to buy an appliance or a scooter or a car or anything, you have to really open out in the complete way. And this is one of the challenge. The other challenge is, the migration of the workers, and even though some of the companies are trying to take care of them, still they are migrating, and how to get them back. So my customers today, they are facing this as a big challenge, that even if they want to start the production, they don't have the workforce. And this actually we can come into picture by automation. Like automation, if it is added, it will help them, tide over the situation.
So, what are your expectations from the government?
Yeah, expectations from government are to, is one way. One thing is they should support the industries, particularly SMEs, in terms of making cash available to them for running their business. Government is saying that you pay the salaries, but if the industry does not have the money to pay the salaries, how is it going to be done? So making the cash available to in the hands of the industry is one thing. And secondly, the very important thing which government should do is ease of doing business, because we are talking about attracting more investments from outside. Think about attracting more investment from within. So even to get more investments from within, if we provide the labor law reforms, if we do the ease of doing business, so single window kind of clearances, then this will certainly help. And I think government is seriously looking at it. Through CII platform, we are strongly putting up all these things to the government, so that not only the investment can be attracted, it will also help the local entrepreneurs to grow in the real way.
So, the finally, what are your how are you trying to recalibrate your growth plans for 2020, considering the fact that COVID-19 was not on the horizon at the start of the year?
Yeah. It is indeed true that in the last January, all the industry was so upbeat, and we had made big plans of expanding figures. And then last year, we could sense a slowdown in automotive. And then the COVID has triggered all the slowdown everywhere globally. And certainly, this is a challenge. So, uh, we are charting it out in three steps. The first step, in my opinion, until for 5 6 months, so say October, November, or say at the most December end of 2020, will be the survival mode. So I don't think there is any point in making big plans in this period. The plans should be for survival. After this will be the second phase, which is a revival. So in the revival phase, we would revive and try to get to the original level of business, what we were a year ago. That will be the phase two, which will last for at least another 6 7 months, or again say maybe years. So, and then only the growth will start. So let's say that the growth can happen only after 1.5 years. And this will be the, I think, the condition for most of the companies. Unless you are in a healthcare or pharmaceutical or some such segment which demand has suddenly come up, all of us are dependent on the demand drive. And the COVID situation has put the demand in a big question mark. And this is a reason why what I said, the three-phase plan will be the plan for Grindmaster.
Thank you, Mrs. Kelkar, for sparing your time, valuable time, and sharing your views on the industry's current status and also your future plans for the company.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, IPF, for giving me an opportunity to talk about Grindmaster and about the future plans. Thank you.